say go slow, I've fallen behind the second-hand lines. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me, time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting, time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me, time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting, time after time. My picture fades and darkness has turned to gray. Watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me, time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting, time after time. Ooh, time after time. You said go slow, I've fallen behind the second-hand lines. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me, time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting, time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me, time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting, time after time, time after time, time after time, oh, time after time, time after time, da-da-da-da-da, time after time, time after time.
We're big, we're bad, and we're back at La Barca. It didn't really rhyme, did it? I thought it might in my head, but it didn't work. Nick, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Warren. Yourself?
Marvellous.
Good.
We have a couple of new products, still yet to be unboxed, from PreSonus, the Quantum ES2, which I'm assuming is their 2-input mobile version, which will go with the laptop, and then their Quantum HD8, which is an 8-input. And we're going to do a little demo, particularly with the HD8. We're going to record a song. So let's start by unboxing. I'll try not to cut
Favourite part?
Your favourite? Well, if it's your favourite part, I'll let you do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Oh.
Some people are easily pleased, huh?
And as if by magic,
There it is.
there it is. That's quite light, but not like plasticky light. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. All right, what we got on the back here? We have MIDI in and out. Oh, that's interesting, because every time we demo an inexpensive 2-input I/O, everybody says, why hasn't it got MIDI on it? Well, they've decided to make sure it does have MIDI, so that question doesn't even come up. Main output, left and right, 1 and 2, obviously. Sign it however you like. Mic line inputs, that's that dual XLR with the line input in there. We'll have to try plugging in a DI on an electric guitar as well and see how that performs. Okay, well there you go. That confirms that it actually has probably a JFET, I think is the popular input. So yeah, plug in a DI there, put in your keyboards in the back, mic's also in it, and Bob's your uncle. It's pretty nifty. Not a bad size at all. Overall volume, 1 and 2, mute speakers, presumably for headphones. It might mean that plugging in the headphones doesn't mute the speakers, which is also quite nifty. We'll find out. I actually like that, whether I can have both going at the same time. But God bless it. Let's see. 48 volt Phantom, auto. Is that an auto gain function?
It is. It is, apparently.
Also, it has an auto gain function as well.
Auto gain.
Ooh.
DI co-developed with Fender.
Ooh. Well, PreSonus and Fender now are one company.
And lots of gain. 75 dB.
That is a lot of gain. Yeah. Anything over 60, 65 is good, but 70 is standard with high gain, but 75 is pushing it to the limits. All right. Okay, so let's check out the HD8. Best in class performance, next gen mic, preamps, co-developed with Fender, that's for the JFET or whatever they call the guitar DI input, auto gain, reamp outputs. That could be interesting to try out.
Yeah.
I don't see that very often.
No, that's unusual.
So maybe we do the electric guitar overdubs as a DI and then reamp afterwards.
I think that's a great idea.
Let's try that. Interesting. So I got my DI inputs there, but I've got the outputs underneath.
Ah, for the reamp.
So I wonder if that can just be run permanently. So you can just patch in there and then use this as like a patch system to go into multiple amps.
Let's see.
You know what I mean?
It would be cool if you could, yeah.
That becomes like a really cool tool for the studio where I could have, 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 amps all patched into a patch bay on 1/4 inch. And then just plug in here and use it as a way to patch into all the different amps.
Yeah. Very nice.
like that.
Dedicated.
Then you could molt
Potentially.
and go into loads of amps at the same time. Oh, I love the possibilities. All right. Okay, so I've got input selections here. Obviously for the auto gain function, you select it there. 48 volt auto, main, muting here. 2 headphone outputs, good. 1 would have been quite silly. On the back. Oh, word clock. Oh, they are really going for this. They are going for far more pro. Oh, 2 optical inputs. So that means I could have had 16 extra channels.
At 44.1 or 48 kilohertz.
Yeah.
Or even 8 at higher sample rates, yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, MIDI SPDIF on the back. Oh, they've gone to town here. They've given it a lot of different features.
Plus. Even more.
Yowza. Oh, so this is for the MIDI and the SPDIF as well.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Has it got dedicated SPDIF?
There.
No, it's all
MIDI SPDIF on there.
Gotcha.
Okay, great. So we're going to check out the features of the ES2. I think the first thing I want to know is, can we mute the speakers independently of the headphones? And you might say, why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because most of these units that I have demoed over the years, you plug the headphones in and it immediately mutes the speakers, which is really smart when you're in a kind of closed situation. You've got the singer maybe, standing there and you just plug in the headphones. But of course, then you get a situation where you're using headphone splitters, if you both want to be on headphones, where I'm thinking to myself, a unit like this would be really useful if I have the singer, in another room or something. I'm just running a mic cable from another room and I'm running the headphones from here. And I still want the monitors going. I want that option as well. I want a sort of, a little bit of a feeling of a professional environment where the singer's in an independent area. It's really up to you, but that would make sense to me to have both options. So I've got Little Empire, a band I'm sure you're very familiar with. We're using tons of videos. And we're going to play a track. Here's the overall volumes and speakers. Bring this down so it's pretty quiet. Now I'm going to hit the green button. Okay, and that's nice. That's controlling the volume. And I've got main mute. Perfect. So I'm muting the main, not affecting the headphones. Beautiful. So I have complete independent control of both. That is a big deal for me. I know it might sound a little petty, but sometimes I think to myself, well, I'm going to want the singer to be in a different environment. And unless I've got a headphone splitter, how am I going to have two sets of headphones going? So now what I can do is hand these headphones off to the singer, and I can listen through monitors. I suppose if I want to, I could obviously use the headphone splitter and have two sets of headphones going at the same time. But that is a very simple, very straightforward solution, and a little bit more pro, you know, to be able to do both. So I can select the main or the headphones by going between the two, or I can just hit the headphones twice and it goes between main and headphones. That's kind of cool. So main, headphones, headphones, main. Got a mic here, usual position where I'm going on the bottom part of the body here. This is Nick's acoustic, which I don't know at all. It's called a Tramulek,
Tramulek, I think.
Tramulek. Okay. I wouldn't pronounce it like that from the spelling, but then what do I know? Anyway, it's lovely. It's quite, the strings aren't particularly new, so it's a little boomy. So we'll move this away from the sound hole. So move this away from the sound hole. So that's just generically set up. So I have no idea how to use this auto function. So I'm just going to select input 1 and hit auto. It's going in red. I think you just did it. Okay. There it is. Well, that was really easy. It's the logical thing to do, and it worked. Do I think it could be a little bit louder? Is there a way to adjust it manually, maybe a little bit more? There is. Not bad. So, okay, so that's stupidly logical. I didn't have to do, I don't even know if I got the sequence right. Let's try it one more time. So select that, it goes to white, that's useful. Hit auto, goes to red, and now start playing. What a very, very straightforward use of color coding. There you go. I do, like I said, want to increase it slightly. And if I hit the button there, I've got overall control here. I have found with the auto gain functions on other units that they're a little bit conservative. But I'm playing this acoustic really hard. There's no way I'm going to get any louder. But I think being a little bit on the conservative side makes sense if you're dealing with a drummer or, probably more importantly, electric guitar players like, oh yeah, there's amps at maximum, sure. And then as soon as you walk into the back into the control room, they whack it up even further. There you go. Very, very straightforward, easy to use auto gain function. What we're going to do is we're going to use the auto gain function. I have not done it on this unit yet. We're going to do it on the drums. And so here we go. Selecting auto. It says auto gain. Select channel. So we have 8 mics on the kit. So we're going to enable all 8. And then I'm going to press auto again, and there we go. Can you play some drums, please? And off we go. There it is. Let's give it a listen. And there you have it. We now have all of the levels printed evenly. So the proof of the pudding is always in the eating. And the reality is how does it sound? Well, let's listen to the tracks. I will say one thing that is really, really powerful. It is the easiest auto gain function I've ever used. I didn't read the manual at all. They did actually send me the manual and videos to check out and all that stuff. And of course, like Idiot that I am, I didn't watch any of it or read any of the stuff whatsoever. They also were very clear that they didn't mind me being completely agnostic about this, meaning I'm going to use whatever I want. I'm not a Studio One user. I'm not. I've used it in the past, and I work with many, many great producers and engineers who use it. Particularly in Nashville, there's quite a lot of great producers and engineers that I know that use it. So, but I'm not. I'm a Pro Tools guy, so I'm going to be doing this in Pro Tools. The unit we chose to do the track on, of course, was the HD8, the 8 input. So I suppose let's go to the first thing that really deserves 8 inputs, and of course that would be the drums. So let's go to the drums first. Everything I've read, which is about 5 things, about 5 lines, is that of course it's the same converters in both units. So whatever this sounds like, the smaller one's going to sound like as well. It seemed pointless for me to record a song on each unit when they have the same functionality. However, having 8 inputs and having the auto gain function, as you saw using the drums, was super, super quick. It was the easiest I've had so far. Okay, here's the kick. I'm going to take off the processing. Beta 91. Put the processing back on, little bit of an SSL native plugin. So on this, really not much going on. There's a bit of high-end enhancement there. And then on the channel itself here, another SSL channel. There's a tiny bit of attack being applied, 10 Hertz on some high passing there, so we don't have too much flobbiness. To be honest, not a lot going on. What you're hearing is the sound of the Beta 91. So you should be able to, here's a before. Here's an after. Not a lot. You should be able to mix this fairly easily. Snare top. Using the Slate VMR here, little bit of gating going on, really gentle, didn't get rid of the grace notes, so it's still there. FG16 effect compressor, a little bit of EQ here, just a tiny bit of low mid duck, and that's about it. Honestly, not a lot going on this. Again, this should be a very easy one for you to mix and take in any direction you want. The mono room mic was here. Inaudible. The only thing I think you could do with that mono room mic is maybe stick some reverb on it and just make it, more roomy. So the overhead's only the air EQ on it, and it's just some high passing. So again, really nothing going on. The room mics, pretty much the same thing. Just some high passing on the room mics. And then the drum bus itself is just some gentle compression. So this is a pretty natural sound from the drums. So you'll get a really good idea of how the mic pre's sound. What I would suggest you do is you just kind of mix it the way you normally would, so you can feel like, are these mic pre's giving you what you want? Now, we had a nice combination of Sennheisers and Neumanns here, so it wasn't like we were using crappy mics, of course, with the Shure boundary mic, the PZM. But generally speaking, you could swap out most of those mics and get a pretty darn similar result. The only additional thing, of course, was a bit of a plate reverb, and it was put directly onto the snare to make it really, really dumb. So that's it. Very, very simple, but I'm impressed. I like the sound of the pre's. But I think the thing that really I loved most was the simplicity of how to set it up. It was like, no brain power. How does this work? Boom, 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 done. That was pretty impressive. And I really, really like the color coding on the front of the unit. So after drums, of course, we have the bass. And it's my usual thing where I am getting rid of super, super highs that aren't necessary, and then super, super lows in the bass amp. And then, of course, in the DI, which I use for the low end, super, super lows, which are unnecessary to get them out of the way of the kick. And then getting rid of all the high ends. So here, for instance, is the DI on its own. Consistent low end, bit of a distressor plugin on it, barely doing anything. When it starts to get a little bit more aggressive here, now those of you who listen to the track will hear, yes, Warren is sounding like he's in Joy Division or The Cure. That's what I do. You know, it's when it comes to playing bass, Peter Hook has been a huge influence on me, and that's why we've done so many videos built around Joy Division and New Order. I love Jaco Pastorius, for instance. I love great bass players. Geezer Butler's another huge influence on me. Of course, John Paul Jones and Paul McCartney and Rocco Prestia, all of these bass players are absolutely massive. Jaco is right up there. But there was something really, really super inventive about the way Peter Hook played that gave a lot of people the freedom to play bass in a completely different way. And just like the Edge did with electric guitar, just changed the perception of what the guitar could do. So that's why you're going to hear me doing those kinds of lines. It's all about Peter Hook. I tuned the D string down to an open C. That's why we're able to do that. So again, minimal amounts of mixing. And if we want to talk about minimal, the electric guitars. Now, what we did on the electric guitars, which was a lot of fun, is we took an old, not working very well Lexicon PCM 70 and plugged into the front of that and then split it between 2 amps. So what we did is we plugged the guitar into the Sans amp, not for any drive, but just to have some control of the volume going in to a PCM 70, as you can see here. The PCM 70 has a completely illegible screen there, so we just had to go through all the presets till we heard chorus coming out. The left and right came out into these 2 gorgeous amps, the Cornell Romany and the Cornford Hurricane or Hurricane. Pair of 414s going straight into the PreSonus. I wound down the tone a little bit on the Rev Star just to get it a little bit darker. We did use some reverb on both of the amps. So the left and right has a different kind of spring reverb going on, and the chorus is generated by this old, barely functioning PCM 70. Yep, because we wanted a chorus and we thought, let's try an old Lexicon PCM 70. I have no idea how much they go for used. The whole front panel didn't work, so you had to keep going through until you found a chorus. Yep, simple as that. Couldn't actually see what it was on there, you just had to keep going. And it was a lot of fun. And I went the neck pickup on our Rev Star, which I absolutely love, by the way. Yamaha Rev Star, still my #1 guitar. It's the cheap one, the $4.99 one, with a little bit of the tone wound off, so it's a little darker. So this is the guitar sound. Again, very Cure. You know, it's an interesting one because this original song is an absolute masterpiece. I mean, a complete masterpiece. Cyndi Lauper is one of the best, and this song is so beautifully written. But what I wanted to do on the guitar and the bass was emphasize her melody, because what she's doing is she's singing on a D over the F. So it gives the appearance of like a D minor 7, because you've got an F and you've got a C in it, of course. So I put that in the bass and in the electric guitars. So I'm keeping the melody and also in the bass of the vocal. It's a beautiful, simple melody. But when I very, very first heard this song, I always assumed that it was doing something different on the chords, but it isn't. The beauty of the song and the simplicity of it is it's just doing that F, F, C, F, C, F, C, F, C. But the melody over the top with the D over the F gives you this different illusion. There is an extra chord change happening on the ba, 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 but there isn't. And I was completely confused by that. When I came to go, oh, I've never actually learned this song before. I'm like, wait there. I'm listening and I'm going, where's the extra chords? There is no extra chords. It's just the vocal melody, which we exaggerated with the bass and electric guitar. Have a listen to the acoustic now dropped in. playing F, C, F, C. Beautiful pre-chorus. Now, I didn't play the exact same electric guitar part as the original. I just picked up the moments. Of course, we did play ba ba da da da, that re-intro melody because it's superb.
Time.
Now, I think one of the things I enjoyed most about this is that we didn't do a heck of a lot to the lead vocal. So the VMR here is literally just a compressor. So the slate compressor is the only thing on the lead vocal, with the exception, of course, with a favorite of ours, and that's the Liquid Sonic 7 Heaven. The 7th Heaven is an absolutely superb reverb that we have all become to know and love. So Liquid Sonics, shout out to you here. On the background vocal of Luca, who's of course also the drummer, there was a little bit more work. We've got a gate going on, a little bit more compression using the FG2A, so an LA2 emulation, then a de-esser and a deplosive on his vocal just a little bit. But again, the 7th Heaven is winning here.
If you're lost, you can look and you will find me.
Together.
Yeah. Time after time, if you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time.
So I've got to say, the pre's perform really well. If you think about it, there's zero compression on it. You can download the Multitracks, obviously, for yourself in here. Zero compression, gentle compression on the VMR stuff there. And of course, the 7th Heaven reverb is really all that's going on. No EQ, nothing. Just a lovely mic with great vocals. And I felt like that was the best way to show off this interface. It's like, what does it sound like with very little going on? I mean, you could get more in depth on this and really mix the schnizzle out of it. But as it stands, I'm very, very impressed with the sound of the pre's. Last but no means least is some shaker. And we've got a left and right one. Just providing some movement, and that is it. Vocals from Becca Burn were fantastic. Luca's vocals were superb. The drums, Nick's acoustic guitar. I just played bass and electric guitar on it, and I feel like it really does show off the interface. It's a simple, easy to use. It's got a lot more functionality than probably I got into. We ran the headphone mix off it as well, so you've got one headphone mix going straight to the artist, and we were monitoring through the speakers. But if you're in a smaller environment and the singer is standing behind you, of course, you could just have two headphone mixes going like that. Very, very easy to use and very impressive stuff. Don't forget, of course, to download the Multitracks. If you're an Academy member, of course, you can post these mixes inside of the Academy and we'll critique them as well. If you're not yet a member of the Produce Like a Pro Academy, there will be a link down below. And that's what we do every week, is we critique mixes. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm impressed with this unit. PreSonus really have done some wonderful stuff. We reviewed a handful of things over the years of theirs. When we did our new studio build about 2 or 3 years ago, we did use one of their 8 input units then because it was the most affordable one on the market. Now it's a little bit more crowded now. There's a lot of really great units out there. Let's be honest, it's not, dominated by any one thing. But I think the units, and there's a couple now that are doing this auto gain, are going to do very, very well, if not already doing really, really well, because we need that functionality when you're working super, super quick these days. And if you're a drummer and you're playing, how do you get your level? How do you get your level? What are you going to do? Record a bit, run in, change it, come back. Where now you can just set up the mics, short cable runs, have it go straight to the unit in front of you, have your laptop ready to go, use the auto gain function, and Bob's your uncle. It's so quick and easy to do. I imagine for drummers in particular, this unit is going to become incredibly popular. So don't forget, download the Multitracks down below. Thanks everyone for watching. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios, goodbye.